Hey everybody, before we get started, I just wanted to say two things. First off, welcome to 2021, because man, was that... Well, you've all heard the things. It's been awful for everyone and everything. But the second thing I wanted to say was that you probably noticed that we've taken a little bit of changes and cosmetic changes in the channel and whatnot. So, because we've changed our name from Comtrack to Never Watch Alone, because we figured, well, Comtrack, everyone will be like, what the hell is that? I mean, granted, now when you explain it, it's like, oh, it's just commentary track, just, compressed into one. But Never Watch Alone is a little bit more of what we're all about, because, that's what we're here to do. We're all here to watch movies so y'all don't have to watch them alone, because especially during these quarantine times. So... but yeah, the old episodes, they won't remain any change. I physically can't go back and change the cosmetics that I've done. I'd have to physically re-release them. Maybe I'll do that as like a special edition, go full George Lucas one day, and re-release them as Never Watch Alone seasons 1 and 2 and bonus episodes and all that. But for now, we're just dealing with the fact that we're kind of changing things halfway through. But there's going to be a lot of good changes too, because we're going to have some short stuff. We're going to have some more spin-off stuff with Marvel movie of the month with Mark, and we also got something also very special coming up, but more on that later. But that said, yeah, dude, welcome back to the podcast where you'll never have to watch a movie alone again, man. As always, I'm your host, Tim Lifeit, and as always, joining me is my good friend Sean. How you doing, Sean?
Well, happy to be here. Happy that we've gotten out of the hell year.
Oh, I know, right? Happy New Year, everybody. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so 2020 happened. And we're glad to be out of that finally. And, that's the reason why I wanted to do this movie to start the new year. Because based on how 2020 went, I'm 90% sure that the Mayans got it wrong. Or we translated the Mayans incorrectly. And it's actually 2021 where the world just goes up in smoke. So, yeah, what a more poetic way to get out of the disaster that was 2020 by starting out with Disaster Month. Welcome to Disaster Month, by the way. This is Comtrack, by the way. I'm pretty sure you know this. And of course, if you want to skip ahead straight to the movie and be like, quit bullshitting, get to the movie. As always, there is a sync button where the movie starts in the description below, as always. But that said, 2012, Roland Emmerich's grand disaster movie. So, I personally love this movie, but I'm really interested in how you feel about this, Sean, because I think you only recently had to pop this in.
Yeah, I'm fairly new to this movie. I never caught it when it came out. Things to love. I'm always going to be an advocate for John Cusack being possibly one of the greatest everyman actors to ever work. So I'm always happy when he's in a role like that, and I do quite like his films. By and large, I thought the movie was fine. The effects hold up pretty well. It's entertaining. Obviously, you have to take this with a massive willing suspension of disbelief.
Yes.
So there's that. And two, and people are going to hate me for this, and you're allowed to hate me for this, and that's fine.
Bring on the hate train.
In a disaster movie, I just feel that too much of a happy ending is just not good for me. I want more nuanced in my disaster movies. So by that note, I wanted a member of the core family to die, and I was really disappointed that they all lived.
Oh, one of them does die.
I do not count the stepdad.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
So it's like mom, dad, 2 children. one of them go. Like, I want to see that level of, like, personal tragedy.
Oh,
It
dude.
was kind of disappointed they didn't
Oh,
do
dude.
that.
If you thought that wasn't quite nuanced enough, you must have. Did you hear about the alternate ending to this movie?
No.
You're gonna hate it. I will. Okay, so I'm gonna link the YouTube because someone posted the alternate ending on YouTube. I'll put that in the description below for you for later. But that said, the alternate ending is actually really bullshit. Like if you thought Deep Impact was overly melodramatic, this is gonna hurt. So it ends with Captain, the captain of the Ark, heading. They announced that they're heading for the Cape of Good Hope, and but right after that, Adrian, played by I'm sorry, I always butcher his name, Chitwell Ejiofor.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I always apologize to that actor because he's phenomenal in all these, like literally a dozen other roles that I've seen him in and a dozen other movies. So I apologize that I constantly butcher his name. I'm sorry, but his character gets a phone call that his father is alive from the cruise ship. And even his friend Harry is alive. Like, he's just got like a little cast, and he's like,
oh
he's fine.
My gosh!
And apparently they survived the mega tsunami, and the cruise ship is lodged on top of a rock where the Arks actually rescue them.
So what I think is
It's
most
bullshit.
interesting, I will say, is what's left unsaid in this movie.
Yeah.
Because, man, that there's one aspect of this I really don't think has aged well, which I think is actually a little spoilery, but the absolute very end, because they're talking about they're heading there's to the Cape of Good Hope. There's been almost no impact there, probably didn't even flood, and I'm just like, how heavily armored are your arcs? Because either this is going to be colonization 2.0, or they're smart enough to not let you land.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was 100% where I'm like, this just got dark, and I don't think they were even thinking about that. Like,
no,
they ain't. It's like no one's letting the white people in at this point, unless the white people are coming armed because they know better now.
Yeah, Africa would be kind of pissed,
right? So I was just like, that is one. Ooh, that ended's a big oof.
Yeah. Oh wow, I didn't even fucking think of that, man. Cause I guess it's just one of those, because it's such a movie that you have to just suspend your disbelief in terms of the science and the plot armor and just like the ridiculousness and silliness of it all, because it is rather silly at times.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But because of that, you tend to like totally forget that probably would have been a thing. So I guess to the movie's credit, it worked on that level for me at least. But you're smarter than me, sir. So I can see why it didn't quite.
But you also, I also didn't consume this when it came out in like what, 2009, 2010, thereabouts.
Yeah.
Like, I'm seeing this a decade later, and I think there's been a lot more awareness and move towards awareness in that last decade about how a lot of history has played out and been written by the winners and all such things. So it's certainly something to consider. But why don't we get into it?
Yeah, I guess the last thing I want to say about it is that before we get started is just be very glad that you weren't like into the big peak of it when it came out, just so you were spared the insanity that was the viral marketing campaign. Because remember, this is 2009. Like, this is between the dark years of marketing for movies, like between like 2007 and 2015 and whatnot, where there were just shitloads of viral marketing campaigns for everything. And this one was no exception. I mean, it was like Google 2012 to find out all these secrets. I'm like, and it just led to so many conspiracy theories, and all these things were like, people like legit like, is this real? Because I don't want to see the end of the world. Like, to the point where people were really thinking of hurting themselves and whatnot. And it was like, it was really kind of fucking crazy for that. Um,
Yeah. So to put it in perspective, when this movie was released, um, I had like just transitioned to a new job a few months beforehand, and so it's like I I just didn't have time to be focusing on stuff like this at that time.
right.
You know.
I didn't see it in theaters though. Interestingly enough,
Hmm.
I watched this. I actually think I watched this for the first time around the time the movie takes place, which is December 2012.
Oh, all right.
Because I was like, well, it's 2012. I still haven't seen that one movie about 2012 being the end of the world. It's kind of well, I'm hanging out around Christmas time with my folks. So I'll pop it in and see what happens, just to tempt fate.
Yeah, I mean, like clearly, I've always been a fan of movies, but I was not. I did not have a dedicated watching crew at this point in time. So,
Yeah. Yep.
for bigger movies, I always had people who are willing to meet up and go with, but I didn't have like my buddy who it's like, hey, we're going to see a movie a week going
Yeah.
on at this time, like I did now,
Shit. Yeah.
which obviously has been put on hold this year because or this last year because oh gosh,
Yeah.
2020. Oof. Oof.
Because I think the running gag is that the world did end in 2012. It's just that we're now living the apocalypse. We didn't quite know it. The year 2012.exe did not load improperly. Did not load properly at all, and now we're just stuck with the aftermath. But I mean, who knows? Although I did love the Simpsons Halloween horror bit with it, where it's like they just point out the ridiculousness of it, where they have like the cold opening with the Mayans, and they'll be
Hmm.
like, well, let's see here. It's Dr. Frink doing the calculations. Carry the two, assume for the birth of Jesus, and the world end will end in 2012. And it will be Obama's fault, right? Oh, of course.
I, if we're going to talk about doomsday and apocalypse times, I still like the current motif of it all started when they shot a gorilla.
See, well, now I feel like we'd be going into Planet of the Apes territory.
I mean, one can lead to the other.
You know what? After all the shit we've seen in 2012, who knows? Anything could go. Actually, I've just literally earlier today, I called 2012 or 2020 Murphy's Revenge.
I would like to say, since we did bring up Planet of the Apes just very briefly, I am still waiting for a full length musical feature a la The Simpsons style.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. They're still on. Do it. Do it, you cowards. I'm talking to you, groaning. I know you're a time traveler. I've seen the shit. I've seen the videos. I've seen all the
Yeah,
side
but
by
the main
sides comparisons.
yeah, but that main voice actor died.
It. Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah, that was Phil.
Damn it.
All right, we
Well,
good?
yes, I think we're good. Well, why don't we get started? So
How many
we're gonna.
tangents can we go on?
Oh, it's us, man. It's so for those of you back home, if you've got the movie 2012 on Blu-ray, we are watching it on our Blu-ray rips. We got it on streaming wherever you can find it. The internet is always a vast and glorious place, but hope you got it queued up right now because we are going to start this bad boy in 3, 2, 1, click, and right away we're getting the Columbia logo. That's always how you can tell where we are is we've got the Columbia logo going.
And I'm drinking Colombian coffee. It works.
There you go. But yeah, so right off the bat, hang on, shit, cut.
Cut?
Well, just keep rolling, but I'll edit this out. We're just gonna restart because my computer fucked up. We're just gonna. I'll just.
We're gonna restart the movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But keep rolling. I'll edit this part out.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I didn't stop my recording, so that's fine.
Okay, hang on. I gotta. Oh my god, movie! Why? Why do you do this to me? Why? It's probably because I had it up for way too long. And okay. All right, here we go. Back into this in 3, 2, 1. So, folks, I really hope you got your copy ready. You were watching it on our Blu-ray. If you got it on streaming, you got wherever you can find it. The internet is a vast and magical place, I assure you. But either way, we got the movie queued up at 000, so we are going to start in 3, 2, 1, click. And right away, we got the Columbia logo, which and the ominous music, because probably so now because Roland Emmerich is kind of the master of disaster, if you will, right?
He's not Cecil B. DeMille.
That's okay. He's the modern master of disaster. But would you say that this is his best disaster film? Because he's done a lot. He's done Independence Day. He did Day After Tomorrow. He did Godzilla. He's done all these.
I think I'm going to have to say no, just because I think the original Independence Day was just so darn good.
Yeah.
But after that, I would probably say that this isn't far. And if only because the original Independence Day, because of the fantastical nature of aliens and stuff like that, it's a lot easier to suspend disbelief, as it were, because, it's like, oh, look, of course it's aliens. Like, their technology just lends itself to suspending disbelief.
Right.
When you're dealing with nature and things of that nature, it's a little more difficult to be that, dismissive.
Yes.
And I also think that not to say that I don't love the cast in this movie. I do, but the casting for
that's that right
Independence
there.
Day was just amazing.
That little bit right there with the boat was excellent foreshadowing, I gotta say.
Oh yeah.
Actually, right away opening with the boat like that is actually when you're like, oh, right on. We're actually probably gonna be in for a little fun ride, because I actually remember, I think one of the most enthusiastic reviews to come out for this movie when it first came out was Roger Ebert, because I've stated many times I read Ebert constantly, especially when he was in college, when he was kind of at his in his later years. But he really loves these like dude. Bottom line of this movie, this movie gives you your money's worth. Is it a masterpiece? No. Is it one of the year's best? No. Does Emmerich hammer it together with his elbows from parts obtained from the used disaster movie store? Yes. But is it as good a movie as this genre can be? Yes. Because it's not really so much as the Earth is destroyed, but it's done so thoroughly. It spends half an hour of ominous setup and then unleashes 2 hours of cataclysmic special effects that hammer the Earth relentlessly, that grinds the world up, stomps on it, and spits it out for good measure. That's totally what this movie is, because there's a lot, again, we're going through a lot of the tropes here, the early warnings and the ominous setups and whatnot, with characters that you're going to be following throughout the rest of the movie that may or may not make it out alive. And again, yeah, it just goes through the motions so well, but it does it so entertainingly. This is why I defend movies like James Cameron's Avatar. I don't care if it's the same story as Fern Gully, Atlantis the Lost Empire, Pocahontas, and Dances with Wolves, and Last of the Mohicans. I know it's the same damn story. Or if you want, throw Last Samurai in there. I don't care. Is it still well told? Is it a well told story? Yes. I like it. Bite me.
I think a lot of it is less of, is it a well told story? I don't think people so much mind stories being retold. I think it's a matter of, are you doing something new with it, or are you being nuanced with it? there's only so many times you want to be hit over the head with the same morality, without a new or fresh approach. It's just like, obviously I love movies. I love Avatar. It's a lot of fun. But at the same time, it's like, okay, how many times are you going to keep making us feel guilty for imperialism? We understand it was terrible. Like, I get it. I understand. I agree with you. Can we stop the guilt trip?
I was more in it for the beauty of Pandora and.
Oh, I love the movie.
Effects.
I mean, it looks great, but
this
I will say,
came out the same year, didn't it? Yeah, 2009.
Man, was that the same year?
Yeah, that's nuts,
wow.
Isn't it? Lovely way to tie it in. And now here we are introduced to Oliver Pratt.
Oh,
He's just a wonderful dick character, character actor.
Did you really? Wow.
What?
Just it's Platt. You said Pratt, and I was just like,
Oliver. I guess that's why he's so good at what he does. I read it as Oliver Pratt, not Platt.
Yeah, it's
yes,
all right. I mean,
Platt.
No, this is
right.
one of the better roles I've ever seen him in. He is perfect as this,
as the chief of staff.
Yeah, but like as the just bureaucratic, like, I will get this done.
Who's kind of a dick, but he's really good at his job.
Well, he's a dick, but as much as you might want to hate him, if it weren't for people like him, this would not, like, the premise of this movie, the survival of people, would not have happened.
Yeah, no, totally. All right. Although I actually do love the fact that once he does, like, start reading it, he actually does, like, get that great look on his face, because Oliver Platt is just a wonderful, wonderful character actor who really knows how to play kind of like low-key assholes.
Mm-hmm.
But I also love that he does give a little bit of weight to this, because this moment right here where he just looks around and surveys the place, where he realizes all this shit doesn't matter anymore, probably. Oh shit. Well, this aged
looks
well.
familiar.
this man, this looks like 6 months ago, doesn't it? God, that sucks. But yeah, so now I actually do love that it starts in the year that this movie was released, 2009, and then works its way up to 2012. That's actually pretty clever. And I also really love this bit right here where he's like, your interpreters can go home. Whatever English you have will be sufficient enough.
Yeah. Also,
yeah,
nice performance by Glover here. Quite like it.
Right? I really love it. Okay, so there are a lot of really wonderful actors and wonderful performances in this movie, but for you, who's kind of the MVP of this movie?
Oh, I mean, I think it's kind of a tie between, like, I really do like what John Cusack does here.
Yes.
And I will also apologize for the pronunciation, but Chiwetel Ejiofor.
I know.
I mean, I don't know. But regardless, he's amazing.
Yes.
Outside I love him in this movie. I really like him in Inside Man as well. I think he's a great actor who, doesn't always quite get the roles he deserves, but man, like when you give him a character to play, like, he nails that character. I've never seen him do a bad job in any role he's done.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I don't think you can put this as the best person, because he's not in it in it all that long. Mm-hmm. But I always just love Woody.
I know, dude. Okay, so I was literally gonna mention when Woody Harrelson shows up, he's not. He's probably not the. It's like one of those things where you know it's not the best, but it's by far your favorite.
Oh yeah.
Because oh my god, his role in this is great. And we also got oh fuck, what's Andrew Lau from The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
God, what the hell is that actor's name? I really should know this better, but yeah, that's. I'm sorry. That's like because we've all watched The Dark Knight like 15,000 times.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the same problem.
But I also love this here.
It's
Yeah.
Chin Han.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he has a much smaller part in this movie, but he does a really good job with it as well. That's one of the nice things here. I mean, this movie is full of character actor or everyman performances, instead of like. So there's not really a runaway like this is who's grabbing everything in this movie.
Right.
But that's what makes it work, is because everyone does a good job individually and with their characters so well that it makes the movie pull ahead. It doesn't distract you by drawing you too into one person.
Yes, exactly. And plus, although you mentioned like you wish there was a little bit more character deaths. I would have liked to see more of these characters like actually get sacrificed in all of this. This is really cool, where the Mona Lisa is being transferred,
right?
And how like only a laser scan will be able to tell the difference. Although now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I've never actually been to Paris. My mother has, but is the Mona Lisa a little bit too big here?
It might be. I am told it's rather small. I have also not yet been to Paris.
Yeah. I guess anyone who either lives out there or has seen the Mona Lisa in person, just like correct us in the comments to your leisure. But I do love that the art curator here is actually named Roland. Just a little cheeky, but okay. And then of course it's really cool how we work the timeline of the slow build up into the title. That was actually kind of cool. Now, don't you love in movies where they're always watching the most relevant news that the plot needs to set up for the audience? Like they're never just like kicking back watching, like fucking SpongeBob or, like the Wall Street tradings or just porn. Like it's always the most relevant news story.
Well, I mean, I at least in a situation like this, it would kind of make sense, because if you fall asleep like that late at night, what did you probably have on? Well, you probably had one of the main channels on watching late night, like Jay Leno, whoever.
I guess I just want to see it done in more clever ways, because Shaun of the Dead did it the most clever, where he was flipping through the channels and it just kept the sentence going. That's brilliant. But I've never really seen anyone do anything really creative with that. But you know what? Again, it's just one of those little trope things that not just disaster movies do in general, but it's okay. It's fine. It moves it along.
I want to point out here, I don't know what happened, why there was this period of time where every time somebody needed a character who was a writer to be played, they picked John Cusack.
It is.
But no, I mean,
it's true.
It's like Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. John Cusack. 2012. Yeah. John Cusack. 1408. John Cusack. I'm just like, every time they needed a writer, where's John Cusack?
I guess it's just kind of his thing, low-key. But I do love that little bit where the crack is there. Again, love the ominous warnings are just at the right level of entertaining. Even shit like this that, again, it's so on the nose, but you really don't care. Because, again, is it entertaining? And the answer to that question is almost unanimously Yes, throughout this whole movie. Yep. Then we got to establish, it just wouldn't be a disaster movie if there wasn't strained family relations and in nothing,
Right.
because nothing brings together family like the global destruction and the death of 6 billion people.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice ride to you too, dude. Although enjoy that shit while it lasts. Because I still that moment where he tosses it into the crater and gives him that look is still one of the best.
This is this is at least the second movie that Cusack and Pete did together. I'm not sure if there were more. I actually quite like their previous outing, Identity. A very underrated movie.
Yeah, I've been meaning to see that. I hear it's really fucking good. I need to check that out. There's a lot. I'm way behind on my Cusack. Because obviously.
Well, I mean, when you started as a teen actor, I mean, you're gonna have a long career.
Very long. Totally, dude. Then we got the two. Oh God, what? Man, I'm terrible with names. I'm absolutely terrible. But yeah, these guys. One of them's Helmsley's dad, estranged dad, and we got his best friend. Oh God,
Yeah,
George Segal. George Segal.
Yeah. And oh, what was it? What did I seen him at? Yeah, so George
it's
Segal,
so crazy. Yeah,
George Segal, I actually had a lot of affinity for because I was a big fan of the show Just Shoot Me back in the day.
right. That was really cool. It's the end. It comes. But yeah, this shit's really cool. Oh, and then this bit here where, because again, this all the entire half an hour of this, or the first like roughly 40 minutes of the movie, is all just setups, and then once the movie starts to get going, it really gets going. Which is why I think this movie actually is kind of warranted a 2.5 hour running time. Although one thing that I do really wish that I actually, looking back at this movie, because again, like I said, I only saw this. There he goes. I only saw this, in my own home theater. Didn't see this in theaters, but now looking back, I really wish that I did. Because when the effects start rolling out, I really legit wish I saw this on the biggest screen that I could, just to catch all the tiny itty bitty details that they were throwing at you at once.
Yeah, no, and there's I can actually really appreciate that. That's actually one of the things I appreciated, with movies like Lord of the Rings. There was a lot of real little details in the battle sequences that
those big wide shots.
Well, right, but also like when you had, like the Nazgul above the city and dropping bodies, like you can't follow that on a small screen, but man, like the way that played out on a big screen. So those kind of nuanced little details are awesome, and it's one of the reasons I will always be an advocate for watching movies on the big screen.
Totally, dude. And because this movie's such like big budget and does have like a lot of really good actors in it with actually fairly good performances, would you call this an epic film?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, like an epic has to do with scale as opposed to necessarily anything else. Like, because there's subgenres of epics, obviously, like historical epics or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I would definitely call this an epic just because of the scale it operates on.
Totally, dude. I mean, because when you have movies that cram all this shit in these wide fucking angles, and the nice thing is that it never overcuts. When you because when we get to it, because they actually hold the shot so you can feel it. They hold the shots, but they put they have fairly long shots for action movies, but they throw so much shit in those long shots that it still gives you your brain that
Yeah,
kind of sense of
I
chaos.
will say I didn't really consider this until you just brought this up, but this came out at the height of the age of quick cuts for action,
Yeah,
and there is nothing that annoys me more in a movie than when they cover action with so many quick cuts that you can't really follow what's going on. And this movie really doesn't do that. It gives you a nice, coverage, a lot of long shots, and you feel the impact of what's happening. I do
yes.
really appreciate that.
Take notes, Bay. Bayhem sucks. Create a hashtag for that. Hashtag Bayhem sucks. But yeah, no. Going back. So we got Thandie Luton as the president's daughter here, where she's about to be told what the fuck is going on, and man, dude.
Yeah. So one, Thandie Newton is absolutely amazing, and her resurgence right now, with Westworld is awesome. However, it wasn't until watching this that I actually had I had a realization. I'm sitting there watching this, and all I could think of was, man, the resemblance between her in her younger years and Zoe Saldana.
Oh my God, you're totally right.
I was just like, man, that is a resemblance right there.
Maybe she'll be in the next Avatar movie. It's supposed to be out pretty soon. We'll see. I don't know. But yeah, again, another really good. We kind of missed it over it here, but the really good bit with Oliver Platt. Oliver Platt, I think, is probably the low-key MVP of the movie, just because even though he does just even though he is kind of really pushy about things, but he's a dude who just knows what the situation is, how grave it is, and how he can get shit done. Like there's still just enough empathy in him where he's not a total creep, but you still like, dude, what the hell at times. And it's really hard to walk that balance.
It is, but and I think that's one of the reasons I like this character so much, and actually can really relate to it, because I am, as a person, I try to be very pragmatic, even though personally and ideologically, I am very, much an idealist, but I understand, like, being an idealist is not going to, just because you want something to be a certain way doesn't mean it's going to be that way, and you have to approach situations pragmatically.
Yeah.
And I think he's just someone who has taken that to an extreme. It's like he understands the situation, and as terrible as it is, and yeah, he comes off a bit calloused, but it's like, without that pragmatism,
we wouldn't be alive.
Nothing would have gotten done.
Okay, so two things. One, first, we finally got our little peek at Woody Harrelson's character, who's phenomenal. I wish there was more of him, almost. But how the hell did these cats not immediately get arrested as soon as they breached the perimeter? Because they were walking out in the open for like a good 10, 15 minutes, and now they're being swarmed? Like, you would have thought they would have gotten it real quicker.
I think it's because there's monitoring equipment around the lake, so they saw them and then came in.
Okay, that's fair. But either way, like... Okay, so that's another thing about what I love about Woody Harrelson's character. His weird obsession with pickles. I honestly think that was a note from Woody Harrelson himself. Like, I want my... Just, being like the artist that actors can be. Like, I want my character to be obsessed with pickles. Like... And Roland's like, yeah, sure,
like
why not?
That's not a deal breaker. We can work with this. Like, all right, pickles it is. It's like, do you have a preference for which kind of pickles?
No, just all the pickles. All kinds. All kinds. I'm a pickle enthusiast. That came out wrong. Yeah, this I thought was actually kind of a cool little thing to link the characters together. That um, Helmsley here, the chief science advisor, he's actually one of the few people that's read his book.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. They mentioned his name, Jackson Curtis. So you know that little Easter egg, right?
Not sure.
Jackson Curtis is Curtis Jackson reversed. Roland Emmerich is a huge fan of 50 Cent. And 50 Cent's real name is Curtis Jackson.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, I know that's his real name, but I had no idea of that connection. So
Roland Emmerich is a huge fan of 50 Cent.
But wasn't 50 Cent acting at this point? Why wasn't 50
I know.
Cent
That's
here?
what I was saying here. When I read that up, I'm like, dude, why the hell didn't you just hire him? I would love to see this movie being headed by 50 Cent. That would have been...
I don't know necessarily about headed, but there's definitely a part you could have...
Oh, yeah, like throw him a cameo
work.
or some shit. Like, hell, you know, you could... Like, when you see the Russian billionaire in
right,
Las
you have
Vegas,
all these rich people and
like,
other...
throw him in there, man. Why not? But I did love that because I think the reason why he went with that is because he always wanted to name one of his chief characters in one of his disaster movie after him. So I guess that's it. But still, you could have thrown a cameo in there for him too. Why not?
Yeah,
that would have been fun, especially as like a fan. You know, like how cool would it be to throw one of your idols a cameo in your movie?
Yeah,
that's always the dream of a filmmaker.
I mean, yeah, and so many of them do it, and we love them for it.
Fuck yeah, dude. Oh, and of course, this is another trope. Again, it's a trope, but it doesn't really bother me. And this is something that was very prevalent in Day After Tomorrow. That scale is wrong. It's happening sooner now.
Right.
Like, this scale isn't in months. It's in weeks. Like, we've seen this shit before, and yet, I'm still eating it up. Like
but I mean, it always, one of the reasons it always works is science is just not that precise.
It's not, yeah, and
like, you know,
the science in this movie is so not precise.
Well, right, but like, you know, an X factor can get added to any situation and completely change the parameters thereof.
Yeah.
So you can only work on, you know, projections and plans to a certain point, and then reality sets in. You have to adjust.
True. I just see the trope where it's going to be a lot worse initially, like it's going to happen a lot sooner in a lot less time, and then as soon as it's over, oh yeah, it's not as bad as we were projecting now. Like that. Like I've seen that happen.
If what I'm hearing from you is you want the opposite.
Yes.
It takes way longer for it to happen, but then everything's just dead. Like no one survives.
Yes. That's the more realistic version. Switch it. Like it should be the same thing, but just flipped. Because he did the exact same thing with Day After Tomorrow.
So I kind of hate to be going here, but if I'm hearing you right, you want Roland Emmerich to make the movie about global warming.
Well, he already did that with Day After Tomorrow, I think. I
mean, the current nightmare projections.
You know what? I say go for it because he needs to redeem himself after Independence Day resurgence. Like, hardcore.
Yeah.
Like, because
there's this really unfortunate problem in Hollywood right now, which that's a perfect example of, where it's like, hey, we've got a 3-act movie or a story. Great. But we cut out the second act. What?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah. That's the best part, too. But yeah, no, because, like...
Well, the second act is what makes you care.
Exactly.
Like, you keep cutting out the part that makes us care, and so then you have a climax that has no impact.
Yeah, exactly. It's dead air. Dead space. Yeah, I really thought that... oh fuck, what was I gonna... Yeah, so he actually mentioned that Roland Emmerich, when he was making this, he wanted this to be his last disaster movie. He wanted to go out in like the biggest bang possible, like really outdo himself in terms of destruction and whatnot. And I kind of really wish that he did make this his last one, because, dear God, Independence Day Resurgence was just bad, really bad.
Yeah.
I actually had a friend of mine who lives in L.A. He actually used to run the University Film Organization back in my college. He actually got to meet Jeff Goldblum on the set of Resurgence, so he was pumped about that movie, and he was ready for it to be among the biggest vocal people for it. And he walked out of the movie, after everyone's like, "This is like the worst ever." He actually walked out just like, "Wow, that was really bad." That's camping with your real dad sucks. All he does is write.
There is definitely a weird switch with the son in this movie. It's like he goes from, being standoffish and grumpy to just very back in the fold, and like the transition just happens so fast. That's one of the few kind of like doesn't quite track with me moments about this movie. Mm-hmm. But again, like it's not so bad that I'm mad about it.
Like it's not distracting. I hope y'all are subscribed to his podcast, because this dude is a fucking character, dude. This is how you do a bit part in a movie.
Woody is just so good, just so darn good.
Look at that head turn that he did. Like he's just like, again with the pickles, and then I love the shot that's coming up here where he opens up his fridge, because it's just wall to wall pickles, and Now I can't tell if he's doing like, because you grew up in San Diego, so you're more familiar with surfer culture. But is he going full surfer bro?
No, I think he's going more conspiracy theorist.
There's a touch of surfer bro on top. Like it's not the meat of the cake; it's the icing on top.
Is that not just Woody in general, though?
Good point. I love the animation video that he does here.
Oh yeah,
like this is like the shitty early YouTube of like the late 2000s.
I actually really liked Woody in Emmerich's latest film. Actually,
oh, which one was that?
He did Midway last year.
And, I forgot he was in that.
Yeah, and they have him as, basically the commander of the Pacific. And, man, I mean, I just really enjoyed his performance. But then again, it's like, I don't ever see Woody do a bad performance, so...
Oh, yeah, this guy, Charles Hapgood, he's actually a real... This is an actual theory from back in the day. Although, Einstein did not support it, because... Hapgood was mostly mostly ignored for his many theories, but Roland Emmerich found the crust displacement theory enough. Look, there's all the pickles. Look at all these motherfucking pickles. But apparently that was like a real theory by an actual scientist by the name of Charles Hapgood, but he thought that was an interesting enough theory to be a premise for a movie, which I thought was actually kind of cool. I think it was the book, what was it, Fingerprints of the Gods by Graham Hancock. Like that was one of the main inspirations of the movie.
His delivery here is just so good.
Right? And he's only got like maybe what, 12 minutes of screen time, maybe less, 10 tops. But man, does he act his ass off in the short amount of time. And actually give it up to John Cusack for that look. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go now.
You know, I love when he just steals the beer.
Thanks for the beer. Later. Bye. Actually, this is kind of really great commentary that the sold tickets to literally the 1% of the
Yeah,
entire planet.
and I really do like the foreshadowing though with like Russian billionaires, like
Yeah, yeah, like right there. Yeah,
yeah.
it's really good.
Al-
You know
Also,
what I
to
really
that,
actually, you
no,
know
go
what
ahead.
one of the best things about Woody Harrelson's character is even though his whole show is about the apocalypse and how it's all going down, he still pitches for donations and subscriptions anyway.
Yeah.
I love that. That's actually a really funny touch.
Well,
Oh,
I
this
mean,
is so good.
it's become his shtick. He's just attached to it, but he
Yeah,
also has to live.
yeah. This is actually one of the first shots or the first sequences of the movie where you're like, holy shit, this is gonna be some really good. This is gonna be kind of fucking awesome. Just based on how the effects are,
Yeah.
because when you see how the way this earthquake coming up is gonna be looking like, and you realize that's just like a tiny taste, or a tiny taste of the appetizer. You know you're in for a ride because I love this shot. I love
Yeah.
this. The crack. Oh man, these VFX guys were on overtime. And hey, look, so much product placement. Because
Yeah.
now we know what the movie what they paid for the movies, the movie's
Oh my
budget.
gosh, yeah. I mean, Pabst Blue Ribbon. I mean,
just
there's been
this,
so much.
Just this scene alone, Huggies and all that shit. But look at that, man. That's some good shit. And the fact that it cuts off just before you want to see a little bit more, you know?
Yeah.
So that's another thing. This is 2009, and they still got a TV from the 70s.
But I mean, that's actually not that unusual.
Really?
Yeah, I will still go places. I mean, yeah, like the certain industries like hotel and that kind of stuff, obviously they keep up with the times because of the expectation from their
Yeah.
customers.
Yeah.
But like I have definitely gone into like, gas stations and still see like, oh look, they have a old school whatever up there to show off their CC, like their closed camera system or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of these systems, like they definitely take an approach of it. If it's not broke, we're not going to replace it because why spend the money?
Although, have you seen those pictures and memes where it's clearly a TV from like the 60s, but they've got Netflix hooked up to it somehow? Like,
Yes.
good for you, dude. Wow.
Oh, I
right.
mean, I'm a weirdo. I skipped over HD.
Yeah. Yeah.
I literally went from standard definition, old style TV to 4K.
Yeah. Yep. For the most part, I'm kind of right there with you because I didn't get like actual. We didn't get our like real cable until like 2004. Yeah, it's nuts. But I love the we also got the war room or the briefing room that we've seen in literally every movie. I'm 90% sure they used this exact set for Pacific Rim a few years later because it only looks slightly redressed. All the Sony products. Do you see that?
Yeah, and that was a real push at the time. You would see Sony Vaio stuff on in like every movie.
Oh yeah,
you just
dude.
know Sony was like, buy our laptops.
Yeah, of course, like that. That's another way to just like get this movie money because this movie was not cheap by any stretch of the imagination.
No,
this was like a 200 million thing, like, and granted, this was after Titanic when 200 million was like a fairly reasonable price for a big budget movie, like a really big end blockbuster, but yikes. That's still like, holy shit. But yeah, right here, why couldn't they have had 50 Cent like in the crowd somewhere?
Yeah.
This would have been perfect. Or hell, you know what? Have 50 Cent be his son's opposing boxer.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that would have been really cool. Maybe even put like his logo on his trunks as like a little Easter egg, and then gift it to him after production wraps. I forget if they actually shot this in Las Vegas, because they went all over the place on movies like this. And then, of course, in the worst possible place, or at the worst possible time, the boarding process begins. And I do love the weight that they give to these little moments where they just look around and they realize all of this is going. All of this is just going to be decimated and see no tomorrow. Nothing demoralizing like losing your fight and knowing your father walked out.
Is that supposed to be his father?
I think so.
I didn't get that impression, because why wouldn't he have brought that son with him too?
Maybe it was a disappointment. I don't know.
Also, what I find really interesting is the fact that, this is, upon rewatching this is my second time seeing this movie.
Yeah.
She is with him later on the plane and stuff, but he leaves her at the boxing match. So it's like that.
Priorities?
Well, right, but it just shows like, wait a minute, if he was abandoning her there, why was she even on the plane with him? Like,
good question.
When did she catch back up? Like, what is going on here? Like, this doesn't track.
Man, I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm just gonna pull a Spike Spiegel and just look at you straight in the eye and go, do I look like I have money? I don't know billionaires. Billionaires are fucking weirdos. So, now we're on the early morning of Los Angeles' last day. And it's also really interesting how they managed to tie him in with the Russian billionaire, because he's the limo driver to him.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually kind of cool. That's actually kind of clever. I forgot about the dog. Okay, so do you remember the in the old days and back in his heyday for Nostalgia Critic, when he did Independence Day, and he had the "Does Boomer Live?" Or actually, I think there's even an entire website of for people to know in movies. Does the dog live? Well, I'm sure everyone will know happy to know that the dog does make it through this movie.
Yeah.
Although I really hate to see the look on the person's face when they look up John Wick on that website.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. You two are little dicks anyway. Oh. That's fucking scary. When you know that the weird conspiracy... It's always a scary day when the crazy psycho spouting conspiracy theories sounds a lot lower.
Yeah, when it starts to make sense, you're like, oh, crap, all right.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
I do love that phrase in the gargling maw of the Pacific. Like, what great writing.
Somehow I feel like Woody Harrelson himself is writing half of this shit. Like, he's just taking way over his own character.
I like how he looks all sketch at the watch, but that's actually like a $3,000 watch.
Yeah, for real. And then, of course, we have a not cameo by Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm actually kind of shocked they didn't actually get Arnold for this bit part.
Probably too much money.
Probably, because I know that his term ended in 2011, so technically he was available. he wouldn't be still governor of California in 2012. But either way, it was. But either way, it would have been kind of cool. But either way, the lookalike does okay.
I think you mean the gummy bear of Candicornia.
I love that line. He's an actor. He's reading a script. Apparently, they had a much harsher line for him, and they would cut it out because they're like, "That's too harsh." Because I think the original line was, "The governor's a meathead. How could he know anything? You got to trust me over some politician. Come on." And they're like, "Yeah, that's a little too hard on Arnie. Like, we should be like, the guy's an actor and he's reading a script." But it's crazy how they kill him on camera during that, right after he goes that the vest is over.
And I mean, now is when everything kicks into super high gear.
Yeah,
with the
we are now at the 45-minute mark, and now the world has begun. Now we're on the roller coaster, and we're also allowed one F-bomb, you guys. We're allowed one fuck in this movie, and there it is. But holy shit, this destruction! Can you imagine waking up to this? Like living out in LA and just looking at this? Holy shit. But I still love the fact that they kind of keep it cheeky, like the verse is over and immediately it begins.
Right.
Or, Kate, I don't want us to be splitting apart. Something's pulling us apart, and they literally get split apart by I love that look that he gives, like, motherfucker.
Yeah, but it's like the world's dying and you're going to pull that face now?
Look at this shit. Like, this is some dope-ass shit. This is what I wanted to see in, like, an IMAX screen.
Oh, yeah.
Like, look at all that detail. Holy shit. Well, if this is what we're in for, I just want it to be quick. And once again, boomers ruining the apocalypse. Hold on to the eggs, dear. That's okay. That's okay. They get what's coming. They get me as a millennial. Those boomers get what they deserve. I'm so awful.
Grandma goes splat.
Yep, Grandma goes splat. Holy hell. Well,
there is a door open, so yep, they just smelled raw sewage. Fun.
That's an interesting way to shit on your movie. You want to take the freeway?
And of course,
dude,
any destruction movie in LA has to have the donut.
Of course. It's iconic. That's literally what Roland Emmerich gets off to, is destroying iconic symbols of places. And there's not a whole lot in LA, so he's got to work with what he got. But, dude, for real, it's raining cards, raining metal. Although it's amazing, in all this destruction, he hasn't just, like, accidentally hit some bystander. Holy shit! We're fine, we're fine. We've got plot armor. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. It's
you know,
fine.
I want to point something out.
Yeah. Jesus.
You can clearly see the girls in the back are not wearing seatbelts.
Right, how did they not?
But at the force, he just went around those corners and was whipping the back end out when they're missing a door? How did they not go flying out of the car?
Movie logic, that way. And that shot's fucking cool, where they just burst out. It's amazing how Roland Emmerich can make a shit-spackled limo look cool through an action sequence. Oh, shit. The entire San Andreas fault is falling into the ocean. Good. Hey, dude, this is fucking Lex Luthor's plan from Superman, in effect. This is what Superman was trying to fight against at the end of Superman 1978. This is why Chris Reeve is my Superman. And the pilot's gone. It's amazing that car lasted as long as it did. I love the fact that the door just pops off off its hinge. Well, fuck. You're a pilot, you're fine. He's Indiana Jones in this movie. Fly, yes. Land, no. Trust me, you're the pilot. Get in.
Like, I just find it so funny that, like, he's witnessing this destruction, this craziness, and he's still arguing about, like, I can't get us out of here. It's like, do you have a better idea?
Dude.
Like, if you're not going to be the pilot, who is?
Jesus. Seriously, those wide shots are amazing because it really just pulls in the gravity of, like, all the shit that's going on inside those houses. You know? God, can you imagine all the memorabilia and all those dead movie stars? That's nuts. It's a bad day to be an entertainer in this movie.
Right.
Well, I guess if this is what's really what we're in for come December 21st or 12th, we might have got it wrong. Who knows? But if this is what we're in for this year, 2020 has prepared me. I'm Jesus. Look at these shots, dude. The detail. I really wish I saw this in like IMAX or something.
Yeah.
Because I just want nothing more just to look around. Because even in these shots, because you know all the crust is shifting all over the place, you don't know what's up or down. The shit is so fucked.
However, there are a lot of points where I'm watching this and I feel very Monty Python. It's only a model.
It's only CG, mate. Jeez, the fucking train. Oh, damn. They do not skimp on this at all. And even the shots like this where you just fly by and you see people hanging out and falling through, desks and offices being decimated, and this cool bit right here where it's like a telephoto lens and the whole building falls over. Oh, man. Damn, that's how you do a disaster movie sequence. Holy shit. But yeah, for real though, if that's what's in store, like, well, God willing, it's quick. Like, I hope I wind up in like one of those trains where I just, you know, drive into a power plant. But that's the one thing that I loved about those sequences is because the plates are shifting and all around, you don't know where gravity is really, because the horizon line is fucked.
Yeah, and you don't know. It's like okay, my ground seems level, but has the ground under my ground shifted?
Exactly.
That it's no longer level. And
oh, dude, this wide shot, this is some really good trailer shit right here. Where the piers going in and the huge tectonic plates. Like, even if you were right in the center of that giant plate there, you're still fucked.
Oh yeah.
And back to the cruise ship. And of course, you know, because it's still Roland, we're being cheeky by playing It Ain't the End of the World.
Right.
Been a hell of a trip, but it ain't the end of the world. Oh, yeah. You know, you would think that being on a cruise ship during the apocalypse would actually be a really good spot to be, but then you think about they actually, and you know, it comes in later, all the mega tsunamis, like the only way to be to really get around this is to be in the air constantly.
Not so. I know, you know, they're talking about the mega tsunamis, but because of where they're based off of, I think there's a level of, depending on the kind of ship you're on, and if you're in more the middle of the ocean as opposed to near the actual continents. Like, if you're on a tanker out in, like, the literal middle of the Pacific, you're probably fine.
Yeah, you'll probably hit something, but it won't be, like, completely devastating. Of course, well, the thing is, the entire crust shifts around, so even the bottom of the ocean shifts around too. So,
but it's a matter of a lot of the, like, you know, far ocean tankers that are designed to, you know, carry stuff. They're designed to be washed over by massive waves and clear the water away. Like, they're designed in such a way. It's like, and so as long as they're not near enough where they're going to get thrown into something and they can avoid being fully swamped over, there's a decent chance they'd pull through.
Yep.
So I think there'd be actually more ships than people would anticipate coming out of it. Just, I don't think a cruise ship would be anywhere near one of them.
So But I'm still saying that I'm gonna still call bullshit on that alternate ending where they survive.
Oh yeah.
Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Everyone dies. Everyone dies in the movie. Actually, that'd be an amazing, like, weird movie to do. Like, literally all of the characters that that you spend time with during the apocalypse just flat out die, are gone.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Of course, we got to have one last call with Dad, and I actually love this little bit here where he's like, "Can I?" But I really do love that he actually has his first drink of Jack Daniels in a while, because you can tell he's been a bit of a relapse alcoholic.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, how is right here? His buddy's calling them out, and he's just like, "Yeah, no, this has got to be." So
For sure. So now we're back in with Jackson and crew, and we're finally landing. I believe it's Yellowstone, which houses the fucking ridiculous super volcano, because that's actually a legit thing. Like, it's there's a legit super volcano underneath Yellowstone. So take that for a grain of salt next time you want to see Old Faithful, folks. It's it's a thing. And then of course he's got to find fucking Woody Harrelson's character, who, I'm just gonna say right now, man, he goes out like a fucking punk, just doing what he loves out in the middle of the woods. And he is going to do the last broadcast of America on top of the site of the super volcano. Oh man, somebody go good.
Oh, 5 minutes, sure, 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. We're just gonna take this stranger's car and meet him up there on the hill.
I absolutely love this moment here, just because it plays out so ridiculously, particularly with the how his sorting system. It's so logical but so silly. I love it.
It's next to Marilyn Monroe and Roswell.
But it's like Dewey Decimal. It's like, you have your conspiracy theory, Dewey Decimal? Like,
but man, seriously though, how boss is he? That he is going to be like, I'm going to do the last broadcast of America on the site of the super volcano. You know, I love the fact that you totally buy into the fact that, despite the fact that he knows where pretty much the secret art project is going, he doesn't choose to go there. He chooses to ride the storm out like a boss.
I want his hat.
Right?
I really want his hat.
And I love how he's not entirely sure with the Dewey Decimal. And then this look that he gives here. Oh man, that's such a cool shot. So beautiful. I'm gonna stay. He is literally like a fly to a bug zapper. It's kind of hilarious.
Well, but it's like, what he has wanted for so long is like, he is hung up on wanting the destruction of, you know, like this group of people, and
yeah. Oh, that was.
He's just so happy he's getting it, and I find that hilarious.
Yeah, although I will say this, in a weird way, he does give a little bit of gravitas to his monologue here. Like when he says, "This marks the last day of the United States of America," I'm like, shit, that's fucked up.
Right.
Oh shit, not Chicago. You know, it's always funny how Chicago is often spared in these movies. Like, it's always New York. It's usually L.A. and Paris, the Eiffel Tower, the Golden Gate Bridge, especially the Golden Gate Bridge. My God. But you know, Chicago is always kind of spared in these movies. It's weird, isn't it? Maybe we should all just.
It is.
Maybe we should all just head on over to Chicago when my hometown. Get some deep dish pizza and some Italian beef sandwiches.
I mean, it is said that, you know, with the projections from global warming, that the Midwest is going to be one of the most livable places on Earth for at least 20 or so years once things start getting bad.
Strike that. We're getting to Chicago right now. I'm going back home to live with my folks, and I'm happy about it. Oh, shit. Dude, that is such a cool effect, man. Like, I love how they clearly took inspiration from, like, nukes and nuclear explosion footage. I do love this shot where the ass crack shot. Again, it's
and he pulls it up. You see him do it.
It's so extra and so funny because I feel like half these are literally character notes from Woody himself. And then, of course, going it out like a real boss. I really hope we go out like that. Like, we're in the middle of watching, like, you know, just another disaster movie and just be like, this big contract, we'll never have to watch a movie alone again.
It reminds me of the Far Side comic when these guys are out fishing and nuclear explosions are going off in the distance. And then one guy's just like, I'll tell you what this means. No size restrictions and screw the limit.
Oh, shit. Boy, it's a really good
You are still driving half a car.
Yes, we are still driving. Not to worry, Anakin. We are still flying half a ship. Oh, thank God the plot, you know, decided that his bookshelf wasn't in that back room. Otherwise, boy, this movie would be over pretty quick. I think how it should have ended was like really fucking funny about how all this shit happens. He's like, I have a plan. First, we'll take a limo to the airport. We'll have Gordon fly. We'll get to Nevada, find the map, get to Las Vegas, and we'll somehow fly our way to China. But it's okay that we'll be able to get there because of the plate tectonics shifting. Hopefully a kindly couple will pick us up in a pickup truck. We'll work our way in there and work our way through the gears and be rescued. It's fine. We have a plan, and then they just die immediately. And the movie's over. Like, they don't even clear Los Angeles.
Oh, man.
Okay, here we go. Going through Marilyn Monroe and maps and Roswell. To a map of the London Underground. Better put that in your pocket or hold on to it tight because all them documents are going down. Oh, shit. It's crazy how much they do, like, a lot of hero shit for John Cusack to do. But then again, what kind of a movie would this be when you don't have your lead everyman do that sort of thing? Am I right?
I always love those kind of shots. Like, you think it's over, and then the hand.
Oh, the hand of victory right there. And of course, even though you have to have both hands for strength to pull yourself up, he still has the map in his hand. Run, Forrest! Run! Run, Forrest! Oh, shit! Come on, man! Hooah! Okay, take off. Yeah! Must go faster. Go. Why wasn't Jeff Goldblum in this? Why wasn't Jeff Goldblum in this movie? Why? He should have been in this movie. I don't care.
But I think you just want Jeff Goldblum in every disaster movie.
Yes, he's tailor made for that shit. He's probably easily the weirdest best part about Resurgence because he's just playing himself. He's entertaining in that way. Just like bring Jeff Goldblum. You don't even have to. Just like, dude, you're not even here for a role. You're just playing yourself. It's fine. Go for it. Taika Waititi had the exact right idea when he did Thor Ragnarok with him. Like he just throw him in a stupid outfit and have him go. It's fine.
Don't give me the disintegrator. We're not there right now.
Oh, hey, this is where you're heading, Sean, right?
Apparently.
Now you're just stealing from Jaws.
I love when they look at him like that. It's like we've gone through all of this and we need to, but it's just like you're alive. Like everyone else you know has now died. Be happy.
Okay, so this scene is what kind of really cemented me thinking that Oliver Platt is like one of the more like better characters in the movie, where he has one final talk with his mom who has dementia.
Right.
And you can see, even though he's got his job to do and he really needs to be like extremely pragmatic and coldly pragmatic to do it, he's still, but the look behind his eyes is just so telling to what he's feeling, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now this bit right here I thought was really fucking cool, because I've never seen this monument destroyed for a movie. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, this shot coming up with...
However, I cannot see that statue anymore without thinking of an awesome parody joke I heard.
Oh, what's that?
Jesus wants a hug!
Oh, yeah, formerly known as Touchdown Jesus out here in Cincinnati. Yeah, or the Cincinnati-Dayton area near Middletown.
No, I'm literally talking about that one. Like, that shows up in a show and there's a parody commentary, the one in Brazil.
Oh,
and someone just goes, Jesus wants a hug!
Yeah, there's a giant Jesus statue in between Dayton and Cincinnati near where I am.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it used to be called Touchdown Jesus, but it got struck down by lightning, if you want a sign from God. But they replaced it with a new one, and it's kind of sort of like this, but the arms are a little bit closer inwards and not just out in a cross-like position. But every time we pass it on the highway, we're like, Jesus wants a hug!
Oh, man.
But seriously, though, that destruction shot of like it falling on the people who are obviously there in prayer, like, jeez, right. Fucking Christ. And of course they also they even mentioned the suspension of the 2012 London Olympics, which I thought was really cool. Oh, shit. It's basically a natural nuclear winter. I mean, she's not wrong, but at the same time, we're talking about the president here.
Yeah.
I also love when he walked into the room. He's got that classic, you know, the classic hunched over silhouette that JFK had in that one photograph, that one famous photograph of JFK in the Oval Office. Yeah. Little touches like that are cool, although I kind of wish that they held on it a little bit longer, like just, you know, a couple more seconds.
Yeah.
So I'm actually curious. As far as movie presidents go, how would you put Donald Glover in for you?
I mean, I think he does a great job, but he also is not as pivotal to this movie as
Very
a
true.
lot of other movie presidents. So that's a really hard statement to address.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, although it would have been kind of cool to, I mean, not to deter Danny Glover because Danny Glover is wonderful here, but it would have been actually kind of cool to see Morgan Freeman reprise his role from Deep Impact.
I I I don't know. I think the compassionate level here, I think, is honestly better handled by Glover.
Hmm.
I mean, I love Morgan Freeman, but
Oh yeah, who
Morgan
doesn't?
Freeman
Oh
is
shit.
great at being like stately, whereas I feel Glover is great at being like the compassionate heart.
Right, right. Oh, dude, it's Las Vegas going in. How the hell did they actually land nicely, considering how fucked up the runway was? Not just in terms of like how cracked up it is and whatnot, but how many emergency vehicles and personnel are running around there. It's actually kind of amazing that those guys were able to land the way they did. Oh shit. Okay, so this extra right here, this fireman, someone give that guy a raise because there's a shot coming up in the movie. I'll let you know when it is. But where that one bit part character does the best shot in the entire movie. That fireman bit part. Give it up to Roland Emmerich to doing like the best little extra bits or directing the best extra shots in movie history. Like I still get chills every time I see the salute guy from Independence Day after this president's speech. Like seriously, I think Honest Trailers named him like the best extra ever. Just, but there's the shot coming up with the fireman is, oh, it's so good. It's so good. I love it. I love it. Oh yeah, so the president's choosing to stay behind and go down with the ship. And apparently the vice president went down too. I mean, he's not wrong. NSA bitches. Yeah. That's the it's this is just really good drama though.
I mean, he's harsh, but
When you really look at the big picture, he's right.
yeah, it's like there's when you have 1 billion people on you have 7 to 8 billion people on the planet, and you can only save like
Maybe
what? No, there's like what, 12 ships, 400,000 a ship.
yeah.
Like you're talking a matter of millions when we have billions. Like it's just there's no good way to. And if you make it public, like you're gonna have literally billions of people trying to figure out where you are, and take over because everybody is out for themselves.
Yep. We're kind of selfish like that.
Yeah. How'd Terminator put it? It's in our nature to kill ourselves.
It's in our nature to destroy ourselves. Oh, this little bit right here is actually really sweet. Having the president say goodbye to his daughter. Oh shit. The final address of the United States of America. You know, in 2009 that sounded scary, but after 2020 it's like, not so bad. Not so
Oh man.
bad. Not so bad.
You know, I would really like to see this movie like exactly as it is,
Yeah.
but where somebody just like makes the sound like redoes the soundtrack to make the whole thing hilarious.
Like a lot of
Well, that, but just more like just think about how many like songs there are about like failing, going down, like everything sucks, like
if they don't have a near my god to thee joke in that somewhere. What a coinky dink. The billionaire that I drive for who happens to have tickets and a plane? What a coinky dink. There's a lot of that shit in here, but again, it's so entertaining you don't fucking care. And plus, the characters are really charismatic. I'm not going to lie. I love all of these characters, even though I can only see them as their actors. Oh, Gordon's the pilot. Yes, great pilot. Let's go. Okay, here. This is the shot that I was coming to. This is my favorite shot. This is my favorite shot in the whole fucking movie. I love this shit. Right, like, where the fireman comes out here. Right here. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That reaction is perfection. And when he closes the door, you can see the ash cloud coming towards them. That is... Oh my god. So hammy and stupid, but I love it. This movie's one giant ham and cheese sandwich, and it's delicious.
Oh yeah. Well, as I said, they got all these great character actors who are just like perfect for their character.
Yeah, let's have fun with it, man.
That's all you needed.
Well, at least these cars are going to survive. Hopefully. Maybe. Yeah, that's really great. That's awesome. I'm actually surprised they didn't just dump all those cars to chuck the dead weight of it.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh, you don't have permission. It's like, did you look out the window?
Did you look out the window, motherfucker? We don't need your permission. Suck my permission. The world is ending. This is kind of an unprecedented moment. So, fuck you, bye-bye. Now, that's something that's always, like, bugged me. Like, how does an ash cloud do that to the tower? Honestly, I don't know and I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, it's dramatic and cool. Like, it just adds to the urgency of the moment. Oh, man. Come on, pull that. Lift your big ass! I actually do love that line that he says. He's like, pull your big ass up for Sasha. Oh, fuck. Oh, don't you just love how Gordon was able to maneuver through 2 buildings twice? Oh, shit, that's Caesar's Palace. I love this. So good. So good. You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of a very young and skinnier Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, I can see that.
Also, how clever is it that, you know, in a lot of these big disaster movies, we usually see the Eiffel Tower in Paris being destroyed, but they were a little bit cheeky, low-key cheeky about it, and they decided to do the one in Vegas instead.
Right.
That's actually kind of clever. They get to have their cake and eat it too. because they already severed all their connections that they had set up in France when they killed the art curator. So why do you need to cut back to France and look at it?
Right.
And besides, we've seen that before. Let's change it up a little bit. And of course, now we have a little bit of time with the Dalai Lama. I wonder if the actual sitting Dalai Lama has seen this movie. Because I actually know that he's a big fan of Star Trek, actually. Yeah, I know. It's like the shit the current Dalai Lama is into. You'd be like, you're kidding, really? Apparently, but you'd be surprised. Wise words. Worthy of Master Yoda, truly. Actually, I remember he was supposed to be a major part of the trailer for this movie. Because the one trailer that I really remember was, this character here running to the Dalai Lama. And it's actually the music that was played in the trailer for The Shining. That was building, that really beautiful build-up and tension. And it was just him running to the outpost of where the Dalai Lama lived in the mountains. And he started ringing the bell just as the waters washed over the mountains.
I do remember that trailer.
That was a really cool moment where it's just like, holy shit, that's a hell of a mic drop. Like, we thought it was really cool when you destroyed the White House back in, 96, 95. Yeah, that was the other thing that Roland really said he wanted to do. He always wanted to do a biblical flood movie, but he never really found a really interesting way to tell that story.
I love the reaction of the grandpa there. Oh, yeah.
Yep. No kidding. You gotta love that they actually even give the kids a little bit of time to develop their characters with themselves. Because, yeah, where are we? We are an hour and 22 into this, so...
just past halfway.
Yeah, so now it's time to, slow... Because now that we've had our really rousing disaster portion, we get to slow down just a little bit and let the characters just kind of sit down and talk with one another. You remember when movies did that? They just actually stopped to breathe. Looking at you, J.J. Abrams. Yeah, it's a whole nother podcast. But yeah, it's really nice to see all these different interactions with one another, with all the different characters. But I'm trying to think here. What was I going to say? Sorry, the hamster in my head just ran off the wheel. Yeah, see, I think that's why I connected the boxer to being his son for some reason. But I could probably be totally wrong. But I do love how that little bit of character nugget of him being a former boxer gets to be paid off later on when they're all locked in, and he just decks the dude.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Hawaii is not looking good. Hawaii's already made up of mostly volcanoes.
Yeah.
Well, Alaska looks nice this time of year, right? Right? Right?
I mean, I was thinking like,
Right.
wouldn't we still have a field on Midway?
Based on how this looks, probably
Well,
not.
I get that, but I'm just like, if you needed fuel and you were there, where else would you look? Midway.
I guess it's condensed down for the sake of movie purposes.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, I enjoy this movie, but you
Yeah.
have the massive will and suspension of disbelief here because the the navigation system and everything else. You're telling me that those things survived all the crush shifting and all this stuff to the point where they can know that they're over the right part of China?
That's actually a really good point because that's the one part of the movie where you really have to stretch your suspension of
Mm-hmm.
disbelief, where it's like, oh yeah, because of the plate tectonics, it actually shifted towards them conveniently so that they could have a harsh landing on the ground, and they're not too far from the site. Yeah, let's go with that. That's. I'm trying to think who the guys who. Yeah, Roland Emmerich's looking at that like, yeah, that seems like it'll work, I guess. Point is, we are only at the because by that point we're only at the hour and 40-minute mark, and we still have like 45 minutes of a movie to go. So let's do this.
Right.
And now we again some more character interaction where we just have Helmsley and the president's daughter actually get to start bonding a little bit, and even
Yeah.
a sort of romance, I think.
Yeah, I would definitely say this is the heading towards the romance part.
Mm-hmm. Because what's a big budget disaster epic without a little bit of that, right? You got to have everything. Joke's on you. He survived through the most ridiculous amount of plot armor known to man. Because honestly, in the new world, when this is all, when in this world, after society's gone back and whatnot, when John Cusack's character is old and withered, if there's not like a dozen documentaries made about him, then what the fuck is going on? What are we doing? Oh, this was heartbreaking. Where he calls his estranged
Yeah.
family for the first time in God knows how long and speaks to his granddaughter for the first time. Man, George Segal. Just again, it's not much of a part here, but man, the actors really managed to give it their all. We even kept a little picture. And right before he could say a word to his son, of course, something bad happens. Ugh. That signal dead tone. Because I've heard him
Yeah.
use that shit before. And again, he brings back a lot of tropes from Day After Tomorrow. But weirdly, he brings back the best parts. Like the little tiny salt and pepper shakes of Day After Tomorrow that I love here. And, uh, yeah, Day After Tomorrow is still kind of a guilty pleasure. But that'll be later this month, you guys. Because this is going to be a straight up disaster month.
Yup. It's like,
That
look, we've all just been through a disaster year. Let's commemorate it with a disaster movie month.
So is it me or was that one extra needed to be replaced with someone better? Mr. President, sir. I don't want to like shit in the girl's mouth or anything, but like, come on, you could have gotten a better take of that or something.
What an
Especially,
odd turn of phrase you just used.
well, I credit a lot of my inspiration for this show from Kevin Smith and his Fat Man on Batman with Mark Bernard. And if y'all have heard that, like, y'all know where I'm coming from.
Oh, you always make me feel old.
Yep. But I love that one little reaction to the one paramedic who's like, "Hey man, look, I'm really busy. Mr. President, I'll help." And even the president's like really charismatic about it. He's like, "Don't worry, you're doing a good job. Just keep doing what you're doing." And then, oh, this is so good. Stay away from the Washington Monument, people, during a disaster movie.
Stay away from anything tall and that can fall over during a disaster.
For real. Although, I do love how we are, ever since Independence Day, we're constantly coming up with new and creative ways to destroy the White House. Because, boy, we kind of had, like, after that, we kind of had, especially with Roland Emmerich, we kind of had a fetish for it, didn't we?
I'm still waiting on Black Hole.
Yes. Oh, and then we cut straight to the Vatican City. This I thought was fucking cool. I wasn't really grown up Catholic. I was grown up Lutheran. But seeing this was actually, like, fucking powerful, man. But, again, we can't keep it totally serious. We still have to be a little bit cheeky. So, in the Sistine Chapel, we have to have God and man have God literally forsake mankind by putting a crack between the finger. Oh, I love that.
I don't know, seeing this kind of scene is always a little bit, like, odd to me. Like, they always do such a fun job with the Vatican and, the square and everything in movies. But then you actually go there, and there's so many barricades and corrals and so much commercialization that you're just like, this doesn't quite hit the same way anymore.
No kidding. Although it was bold of them to flat out kill the Pope on camera. That was actually kind of...
we've killed a lot of them throughout history. So.
That's very... Okay, that you got me there. But just that, like, in that giant disaster wide shot was actually kind of fucking cool. And then, of course, now the giant tsunamis are going through. Oh, he did. Oh, he's right between them. He did. That alternate ending, fuck it. Bye-bye. Seriously, I'm so glad they cut that. Because when you look at what happens next, you're like, fuck that bullshit. There's no way. Like, and even if that ship did manage to, like, not be totally submerged and just go down completely, neither of these cats would have made it. There would have been, like, maybe a dozen people that would have survived something like that.
Right.
If they were lucky. Although it's kind of amazing that they're still getting TV broadcasts. Albeit, though, I will give it to them this. They actually make it look like it's a poor signal and whatnot. Oh, shit. Nope. No, everybody dies in this movie. Everybody dies. Speaking of which...
I believe that was the point I made of not enough people died.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and here it goes. All the food. All the resources. Oh, I do love the fact that they put him right outside the ship to see the full weight of it and put the audience in his shoes. Ow. Yeah, this shot right here where you get to see...
Yeah, it's like, I don't know if that's where you want to be.
If I were going to be on that ship, I wouldn't mind being there myself just to get it over with. Oh, damn. That's Poseidon Adventure right there.
Right.
That's not... Actually, I'm pretty sure they made that shot just like as a little homage to it. But this I thought was really cool.
Oh, yeah, I love the way they do the ash here.
Yeah, the ash is really cool, but to have the wave come out of the fog and have the John F. Kennedy USS Carrier
Right.
be the one to take out the White House. That's actually kind of fucking. That's actually cool. This is for Daily Plaza, you cunt bags!
He's going over the rainbow to find Dorothy.
The John F. Kennedy's revenge for assassination. All ground transmission has ceased.
You're in the middle of the Pacific. What are you hoping to pick up?
Anything.
Right, but what could be broadcasting that far on FM? You would need to be on AM.
Good point. You're totally right. If they had just switched over to AM, maybe that would have made a little bit more powerful. But then again, we were distracted by the giant mic drop of the USS John Kennedy taking out the president and the White House. So that one little insert doesn't matter, I guess. That's the magic of movies. It's literally magic and misdirection. Like, you show something so fucking cool, you don't notice this tiny little thing where you go back and you're like, hey.
Unless you're just like an esoteric asshat like us.
Have to point out. You point out every little detail.
Oh God, that'd be like the worst podcast ever.
Oh,
we
God,
are going to point out every mistake in this movie.
No,
please, God, no.
Dude, this is exactly why I stopped watching. What was it? Everything Wrong with So and So movie.
I watch
Sins,
them.
That's it.
I watch it occasionally just because when they go to a movie they really love, and they still have to point out stuff that's kind of wrong, but you can still hear their love for the movie in it. Those are the fun ones.
Yeah, it's just I got so tired of Cinema Sins because I'm like, dude, come on, like, because this is why I always trek towards honest trailers, because they'll point out their flaws, but they'll be like, who cares? Screw that. That's awesome. Like they'll be honest about it instead of just pointing out every little like tiny flaw and error. Like that's IMDb's job. They got a whole shtick for that, so it's fine. But yeah, see, but I guess it really doesn't matter anyway. What if he was listening into AM and FM, because all transmission has ceased on the ground, which is
we're done. You're out. It's over.
Shit. Oh, I thought this was actually kind of cool. Where they put the South Pole in Wisconsin. Yeah, that I thought was really like, holy shit.
I love how just crazy scientist that actor looks. It's perfect.
I know, right? It's so archetypal and it's so cliched, but it's so good. But yeah, even when you look at the projection of the crust shift on that simulation, you're like, looking back, you're trying to do the geometry math in your head. Like, how did that still get the plane over China anyway?
Right.
But again, whatever. We still got what? We still got about an hour left of the movie. But yes. Either way, shit! Man, I'm losing my thought today. It's been sorry. Last year was such a long year, and we're posting this on New Year's Day, so I'm still a little 2020'd out. So forgive me if the hamster on the wheel in my brain is not keeping up.
This is such a child's perspective, because like,
yes,
I'm not saying to be mean, but it's like, yeah, it's always going to be hard to have to deal with the man who is banging your ex.
Yeah.
That's just not a comfortable position for most people, particularly if it's an ex you did not want to be an ex.
Yes. Yes. Although I do remember, now that I think of it, like, I'm glad scenes like this exist for that kid because it makes him a lot more empathetic. Because I swear to God, watch the alternate ending. He's a dick at the end. He, like
Fair enough.
no, for real. John Cusack gives him back his phone that they somehow recovered, and it's like he's like, oh man, it's got my own music, and he still kind of gives him shit for being not my dad. Like, he still calls him Jackson and not dad.
Wow.
Even after his stepdad's gone.
Yeah.
So I'm glad scenes like that exist, and that alternate ending is gone, because man, they made him a little shit.
I think it's more that they kept him a little shit, and that this movie had smoothed that over a little bit.
Okay, I guess, but it's just so weird in tone. I can't wait for you to actually take a look at that, because, like I said, I'll have a link for it in the description below for all you cats listening out there. And they are real. They are like, because we know what's gonna happen. They're like, we know the plates have shifted and they're gonna be fine and whatnot, but these cats are expecting a water landing where they are going to die.
Yep. And I mean, first time I watched this, that's it's what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Like,
In a weird, you're totally right. Like, first timer watching this, you're like, maybe this is going to be kind of the end of it, but no, movie miracle, yay! Okay, Dorkatron. Okay, maybe now we should start trying to land. Although I'm kind of amazed that they didn't notice that there was land sooner. So maybe they could have made a emergency landing outside of the mountains.
if they were above the cloud cover.
That's probably true. And of course, you got to take into account that gigantic ash cloud too.
Yeah. And how many other volcanoes erupted, so there are, how much more ash is in the atmosphere.
Yeah, that's true. All the Pacific Islands must have been on fire. And to be fair, that's probably why they didn't stop in Midway.
I love that line. We're taking the Bentley.
We are taking the Bentley. Wow. But of course, it's not just that, but I also love when they try to start the thing up.
Yes.
Oh my god. So good. Push! For real, though, it's kind of amazing they didn't just drop the other. If they were so worried about fuel, they would have dropped, like, half the cars for dead weight. Go! I will sacrifice myself for ratings!
I mean, I don't think his intention was to sacrifice himself, but I think he did still hope to successfully land.
It feels like one of those kind of movies, though. Like, that feels like the thing to do. Like, there's no other way, just go, get out of here. Like, super overly dramatic. This. Okay. Wow. Rich people are wild, man. Yeah, see, right there. You would have thought they would have done that ages ago, but whatever. Honestly, I think they didn't do it just so they could have these cars roll around like that in the action sequences. Just a small touch of Fast and Furious. But again, without the excessive cutting. Because they actually hold shots in a fairly appropriate amount of time, I think. Where you actually get to sit back and appreciate
See, like,
the visual.
right here, I would have been bombing out of that cockpit, back, like, running, trying to get out of that plane.
Yeah, but, you know, movie.
Yeah, but, like, I think it just would have played better had, like, he been running and then he died trying to get out rather than still being in the front.
I guess.
It's just me.
You know that if you're actually you're kind of right, because it would have played on your expectations a little bit.
Yeah, you think he's gonna survive, you think it's a hero moment, and boom.
And then you're like, oh, oops, okay, you're not fucking around, movie. Oh, and of course, because we have to have a little bit of Bible references, 2 of every animal. Although you gotta love how wide open the with the giraffes and the elephants and the rhinos and whatnot. Small escort going in. But yeah, dude, you would have thought that they had this shit like set up ages ago, but of course, you know, as we established earlier, this timetable's been changed.
Yeah.
You also, you know, the other thing is they had the Chinese to be the one to be to house the arcs and to be the government that builds the ships that save us all, just so that they can pander to the audiences when the movie's released. Because I don't know if you saw what you know, all the shit that Michael Bay did, pandering to Chinese audiences for the Transformers movies, especially like the later ones. It's like beyond obvious.
Yeah.
But then again, at least here it's not as yeah, you got €1 billion to get in there.
Right. It's just like, well,
do I look like I have money anymore? Does money look like anything?
all foreigners are rich.
Yeah, for real. Or all like these people were chosen over for a dynamic by geneticists all over the world to get the proper gene pool to repopulate, and you just see all the people with their checkbooks. Oh man, these fucking shots, dude! Like the VFX people have been really outdid themselves because. As far as the effects go now, how well have they aged for you? For me, they've aged just fine because they're so creative. Even though they're not technically perfect, they're still so creative that I don't care and I can still enjoy them even now after all these years.
Yeah, I mean, it honestly doesn't bother me. Like, yeah. I'm all right with it.
Yeah, totally. Because, man, dude, look at these shots. Oh, the arc setups.
Yeah, it's
that's some amazing. I can only imagine like the insane amount of storyboards and concept arts that goes into this. Oh, hey, it's the Queen.
Oh yeah, and the corgis, of course.
Of course, the corgis. You gotta have the corgis. Holy hell!
You know those are the odds that Vegas should be gambling on right now.
Right?
No. Who's going first, the Queen or Betty White? Money.
Money. Well, if I had to guess, probably my money's on Betty White going first, only because the Queen the Queen has a long history. The Queen's family, rather, has a long history of living stupid long. Like her mother was a centurion, so
Gotcha.
yeah, that's the only reason why. That that and she's just fueled by class and gin.
I am the supervisor.
Hey, another lucky card. See, this is all part of the plan.
Nobody panics because it all went according to plan.
That's right. Don't worry, they'll be nice enough to pull over, right? But yeah, dude, I would have loved to see all the concept art and the storyboards for these shots specifically. Because look at that shit: the Smithsonian, the elephants, the giraffes, the Michelangelo's David, the art. All this shit is being curated. Man, that is such a relevant commentary. That commentary is still on point, man. You know, I think earlier in the movie, I'm pretty sure, but the president's daughter actually suggested a lottery, sort of like they did in Deep Impact, where they built a giant bunker to hide out in for 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't actually even toss around that idea.
Yeah, I agree. That's
and not just for the United States, even, but for the entire planet. Oh, that's another thing that I just realized, because Deep Impact was about a planet-ending meteorite, right? Only the United States is mentioned in that damn movie. I mean, granted, I know we have the space, the space program, and one of the finest on the planet, but we only had a plan for just the United States in that bunker, not the entire planet. Because I'm pretty sure the UN would be looking at us like, what a bunch of douches. That's the United douches of America. Oh, jeez, that shot. Oh, my God. Honestly, if I saw a giant tidal wave like that, I'd be like these guys right here, just sitting and waiting, because why waste the energy to run?
Yeah. Save your energy to swim.
If you don't get like your head burst in from the rocks and slamming.
Yeah.
In. Oh, this shot coming up right here where the countdown decreases exponentially.
Yeah. Oh gosh, this is so good.
Because again, I really wish like movies took just like a few more seconds for certain emotional beats. You know, because like I said, like when they walk into the president just praying in the chapel, I wish they had like a few more seconds to linger on that image and shit.
I love this though, the interaction here, because it's like, dude, like we're not trying to fuck people over. Like, do you understand how rushed we are and how haywire everything's gone because the plan
but the silence
came too
here.
early?
The silence waiting for the clock to stop ticking down. Holy shit, you're kidding. Because just like when you see the clock tick down that much, you're just like, Jesus. In these movies, there's always a clock ticking. We gonna make it or not? Man, I'm amazed that truck can get around in over the mountains like that.
Right.
Make your peace before the end. And I'm actually surprised they didn't have that weird moment where they're like, let's just make peace with one another before the end. Especially like when they were about to go down in the plane. Like they kind of had that, but I really wish that they took like a full minute to be like, no, this is it, and then Gordon can come down like, hey, we got good news. I know someone on the inside that can get us in. It's cool. Although it is kind of a weird fuck you to be like, have all these Chinese workers build this thing and not give them passes.
China?
Yeah, maybe. Man, it's the Chinese government is wild.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you'll be able to know a little bit closer when the time comes for you, because you're going to be teaching.
Yeah,
out there
well,
pretty soon.
you ain't gonna hear a word about it until I'm back. Gotta keep my mouth shut if I'm over there.
Right. Well, either way, I'm pretty sure it's still going to be a magnificent time for you, and I do wish you the best.
I hope it works out.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, for real, just like... For real, you're not just going to leave these people behind. And you also got to... That's another little touch. It's a little touch that they don't really draw attention to, but they just leave the car on in the background.
Yeah.
But I like that. It's a nice acknowledgement of the futility of everything that's happening. Oh, yeah, and here we go. Here comes that really good right hook. Oh! You know, around the time this came out and whatnot, where all these billionaires were running towards to be saved and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know if I want to save them now.
I just realized, like, a massive continuity error, though.
What's
when
that?
they just showed Arc 4 and how close the door was already being to being shut.
Yeah.
And now think about what prevents that and where they're going through the hydraulics and stuff. It's like that timing doesn't match at all.
Movie logic.
I know.
We got. Well, there's always that magic hand wavy thing where it's just like, yeah, movie. Holy hell! Man, seriously, I wonder if there's actually like a 2012 like production book or something out there. Put that on.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Put that on my Amazon wish list for Christmas next year, because I would love to look at all the artwork that went in design. Because I can tell Roland actually put a fair amount of research into the movie. You know, he had the tectonic plate shift. He had the Mayan civilization, although that's still really a skewed thing for the sake and purposes. But yeah, you know, it's also like really cool to think what would happen if something like this would happen. That's a really cool wide shot.
Oh, that's right. It's when they relower it. That's my mistake.
Yeah. Whoop. Hope there wasn't anything important in there. Goodbye. There should have been a lot more people falling over from that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's fucking what's his face from Watchmen, the first Night Owl. Oh, what the hell is his name? Stephen McHattie. Man, dudes, these seriously, whenever they cut to these wide visual effects shots, I honestly wish I was seeing this in IMAX again, or just to see it on a big.
This is
screen.
such a funny little moment.
Okay, yeah, for real. The dog through all that chaos and all that mad dash of humanity, can hear that woman from that far away, and not just hear her, but manage to do a wire walk across. Any other little dog like that would have been like, "Oh hell no, you come to me."
See, I would have thought for sure that, like, they were going to have this be, like, the tragedy moment.
Uh-huh.
Like, she doesn't get in, she gets boxed out, she gets smushed. And then it's like, nope, like, the exact opposite.
Although they do put a really good period on this. Oh, right there. Did you notice, like, as soon as she took her finger away, it sped up and closed as if it was waiting. It was clearly two stage hands waiting for the cue. But I don't care, because that one last fuck you to Sasha for Sasha's death is so good. They're all billionaires. They're all selfish prudes. Fuck them. Fuck the 1%. They paid for this, and now we're going. How does it feel? How does it feel to be desperate? You can tell I'm really fucking poor right now. Like, I am a poor ass millennial, full of rage.
I mean, I think given the state of the world, and particularly with how the 0.01% have enriched themselves off the pandemic, the annoyance is perfectly justified at the moment.
At the moment, yes. But in the future, if I'm old and rich, I apologize to my future self. God willing, I get there. I'm probably not. So whose side would you be on if you were in this room?
In this particular moment, I'm on the geologist side.
Yeah.
Because they have the capabilities to save these people. Like, they really do.
Yeah.
This is not a matter of, like, the people out there, the general population. In this moment, in this situation, they can save the people.
Yeah.
Out there on that deck. And with all the other arcs willing to cooperate, they can distribute people as necessary when they meet up, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, no, like, I'm on his side because it's okay.
Yeah, we've still got 15 minutes. We can at least save a giant chunk of them out there. And besides, he's right. Like, as far as the soul of humanity, we got to remain empathetic towards one another, because each other is all we'll have in a time like this.
Yeah.
Like, money, cars, all that stupid bullshit means nothing now. More than ever. And I get the pragmaticism. I get it. Literally, something could possibly go wrong and doom the entire thing. But God damn it, at least try.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Just the way he said, open the gates. There's even the heads of state actors here, like, they bring just the right level of ham and cheese to this wonderful, delicious sandwich that is this movie. Because we're like, look, this is kind of a silly movie. Let's be honest. So let's have a little fun. Oh, sorry. Man, dude. Oh, shit. Run! Man, look at these sets, too. I just realized how, like, because all this shit is practical. Because, you know, in the older, or the post 2005, 2006 era, like, there was so much CG and so much green screen that you didn't see real sets anymore. But this is all clearly built, which is actually really refreshing. Ugh. Yuck.
Ooh, that's an unpleasant way to go.
Yeah. Because you'd have to wait till it got to your torso before you actually didn't have to feel anything anymore. Oh, shit. So would you have preferred it if John Cusack's character died in this movie?
Not necessarily, but like as I said, I just felt like the death of one of the family members, you know, probably a little more realistic, given all the trials they went through.
Yeah. Because there is a moment, like, when he's seemingly drowned.
Yeah.
You know, I actually wouldn't have minded if he didn't come back out. Because what a bold move it would have been for your leading man to perish in your disaster movie.
Exactly.
Oh, and here we go, the other trailer moment where the Dalai Lama goes out. Although, I just realized, like, while I'm watching this, he's now seeing the water go out, but he's only able to ring the bell like 3 times.
Yep.
What's that gonna really do? Because I think that's supposed to be like a warning signal. But yeah, see, he only manages to ring it twice before being destroyed. What's that gonna do? I would have just sat there with my tea, like finished my tea. Oh shit, we got one more. This is actually really cool. Where he has to launch his son up there. And he goes.
I mean, he was a prick.
He kind of was, yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, that's not good. We kind of need that gate to be closed. He's like, holy shit, that's that kid I met. That's that kid I met in, yeah, I met him in Yellowstone. Man, that tech for the security cams is top notch. Again, he was right, but you don't have to. Do you really have to be a dick about it, though?
I mean,
Oh, this is cool.
you may have doomed like 500,000 people.
Yeah.
Like, I get why he's frustrated.
Holy shit, though. The destruction of Air Force One. But I
mean, this is what
Yeah, go ahead.
What?
No,
I mean, like, this is what happens though when you make people desperate.
Yes.
That's why they win in that way. They're gonna try. People will try to find any possible way they can to survive.
Mm-hmm.
It's human instinct.
But yeah, we got to see Air Force One get taken out by that wave. Although it's really cool how that thing comes back, because they're like, I don't know, like we just unceremoniously took out Air Force One. That felt a little like, can we bring that back for one more little beat? And the way they do is really fucking cool. I think it's coming up like right about here. Whew. Damn, that's some cool. Holy shit! Well, that's not good. And those two kids should have been dead. Man, look at that shit, dude. Like, looking at this is all practical. They had a giant set. They had water spray over all the extras. Like, that's actually really impressive. You don't see a whole lot of that, man.
It's a lot to do.
Yeah. I mean, you look at shots, because, I mean, yeah, the visual effects took up like a huge portion of the budget, but when you see practical shit like this, you're like, oh, that's why it's $200 million.
Right.
Because even this shit, like, look, some of this shit looks like it's out of Alien or Pacific Rim. And, you know, I totally would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if these sets were refurbished to be in Pacific Rim. Because
reusing assets is just smart money in Hollywood.
Well, it's also really funny because Pacific Rim is basically this generation's Independence Day. It's almost the exact same thing. Like, even down to the bit where it's like, "Hello, boys, I'm back."
Yeah.
Oh no, not the dog! Get the dog! Get the dog! Get the dog! Take care of the doggy. Oh yeah, I totally forgot. She dies too. I guess that's one more death to look forward to. Oh, you know what would have been really funny? If it was the other way around, and where the model lived and the kid didn't. How fucking dark would that have been? Oh,
well, that's kind of what I was saying. Like,
right here, Professor, look. It's Air Force One. That was cool. That's a really cool way to bring back Air Force One into the movie. Just for one last little beat.
Yep.
But yeah, you're totally right, dude. Like, if it had been one kid that died. But you know
what? Or like the mom. Like, you know, like one of the characters that like, you know, was super important. Like...
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, they obviously had, like, I kind of think the dad, like, should have lived, because they had this kind of acrimonious relationship with him because of everything that's gone on.
Yep.
So it's like, had you taken out one of the other family members, like, this had been a dark movie.
Yeah, because I know if the studio execs were like, you killed a kid, like, the studio execs would be like, we're not going to do that.
There's always, there's been a big thing in Hollywood for a long time of, like, you can't kill the kid, and... They are getting a little more creative with ways to kill a kid, but by and large, are like, you're not killing the kid.
Yeah, it's just not marketable. Nah, sorry.
And I get it. Like, look, I enjoy feel-good movies. Like, I'm not saying I don't enjoy, you know, this movie in, like, a happy ending, but happy endings aren't necessarily reality.
Oh, yeah, totally. You gotta love how, Helmsley, the geologist is one of the people that goes down there to rescue them.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Is it made of rock? What are you doing here?
That's really dumb, you guys. That's really good. Like, you would have think they would have thrown in like an expert of the ship, but nah. Oh, and I love this. They're like, oh shit, we're gonna slam into Mount Everest. Holy shit. Oh, fuck. I can't really think of any other disaster movies that feature Mount Everest. I think the only other one was Waterworld.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's nice. It's nice. Again, it's a nice little change. They change up like some of the worldwide landmarks and whatnot. Although I guess we had to wait until Pacific Rim until we saw the Sydney Opera House be destroyed, because that one always gets left out too. Oh man, these sets. Do you know what a bitch and a half it is to have a water set?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because like, look, you gotta. Because remember, when you're on a set, you gotta have script supervisors. You gotta have the sound guy. You gotta have the cameraman. You gotta have operators, standbys, makeup. All these people crammed into this set, and then you throw in the added element of not just bubbling water underneath, but water spraying down from the hoses from the ceiling. Like, that's insane to keep organized. And when you see shit like this, you're like, man, they really went for it. Good for them. I almost wish he just like looked at her and went, I know. Just one final little cheeky bit. Oh shit, does she die? I forget. I think she does.
I didn't think so, but I could be mistaken. Maybe she does.
Yeah, I think she's gone. Oh man, dude, seriously, the lighting in this set, you'd swear like this shit was straight out of Aliens. You know?
I don't know, when it comes to water stuff, I find it more, I think along the lines of like Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah, right. You're totally right, because it even does have that like, you know, mechanical underwater facility sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, can you imagine if they just, for shits and giggles, decided to add in a couple of sharks that found their way through the tsunami just to add the more fuckery on top of all of this? Like, it's not...
but I mean, like, they have to be, you'd have to show them outside the arc, because the space is still so small, the probability of them coming in there with the turmoil.
Let's go full Sharknado with that. Just show a couple of badly rendered CG sharks working their way in through the open gate hole, and now they have to deal with sharks too, and where John Cusack goes full over the top and has to punch a shark to get to get to this shit. Or better yet, he's cornered by the shark and he has to have the shark grab the thing that's jamming the gears so the shark can pull it out. I'm surprised he didn't just scold that kid, because if that were my kid that came back, I'm like, kid, I love you, but get the hell back with your mother.
Right?
You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. It's fine. Man, how are these animals in there just not freaking the fuck out? Because seriously, if you're around a freaked out baby elephant, it's terrifying.
Oh god, yeah.
shit. Everest is getting closer. We're all gonna die. What are you doing, kid? Oh, shit. You know, I wonder how many dead bodies off of Everest are just spilling into the water right now. Because you know about that, right? Like, all the people that have died on Everest expeditions are still up there. And it's basically a giant graveyard. Also, there should have been like a shitload of sharks just eating people that swam into there. Like, it'd be really great to see like the sci-fi version of this. Just the worst special effects ever. Are gonna be fine. They're fine. They're fine. It's all fine here. Oh,
I'm reminded of a song. Close your eyes and count to fuck.
Holy fuck. Phew. Woo! Made it. Oh, man. These movies are so goofy, but damn. It's amazing that those cameras down there are still functioning.
Well, some went out.
Yeah. But not all of them. Only the ones when it dramatically mattered.
Of course.
That's just how that shit works, man. The Chinese are good, but the Chinese are so good at building these things that they have them only malfunction when the plot needs it to. Also, with the amount of time that they were, afloat and adrift, it's amazing how much water they should have really taken on, and they're still going. Like, is there like a pump filtration system to pump that shit out?
Most ships now do have that, yes.
Yeah.
And that's also why there were certain chambers being cut off, because they don't let the rest of the ship sink.
It's far more advanced versions of the original design of the Titanic.
Yeah, they decided to put ceilings on them.
Yeah, exactly. And not just, not have them spill over the top of one another. And they have a lot more efficient pumps. Which, by the way, everyone who's listening, we are going to be doing Titanic next week. So tune in for that. It's going to be a really fun ride. I can't wait. Yay! Family get back together hug. Because nothing brings together family like the fucking end of the world. Of course, to be fair, if the end of the world happened, and that would bring a lot of us together. I also love this.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't that bring new family?
For sure. But I'd love this. It's year 00001.
Yeah.
Like the whole, we're like, you know what? Fuck it. We're just, this is a new age in human history. We are starting at year 1. That must be really weird for a lot of people to adjust to. Like, when were you born? When were you born? 30 whatever something C. I guess before Cataclysm. No, I can't use
No,
before
I think
Cataclysm.
I think you would have it. I think you would have AC for after Cataclysm, but still have AD for the previous.
There you go. There you go. So I was born I was born 1972 AD or whatever.
Hmm.
Oh snap! Well, we're way over capacity, so and you don't really have a bed, do you? So I guess we'll just have to share. I guess. In all fairness, that's totally how Katie and I started becoming a thing. Like I was usually supposed to just move in just to be a roommate, and then eventually like, well, I don't have a bed. I'll just sleep right here. And after that, we're just like, oh fuck it. Because we've been friends for like 3 years at that point. Oh, he survived. But it is nice to know that those ships are way over capacity. They built a gift shop for. Of course, they built a gift shop for these things.
Capitalism.
You would think they would have just abolished money at this point, because, like, really, what the hell is a euro gonna do anymore? I remember this was also in the trailers. Like all these people going out into the sunrise, and it was just like stamped with these huge fonts where it's like Google 2012. What is it? Oh, it's such a cool shot, though. I'm so relieved that this is the ending. That's such a cool design. Oh, look! I even love how the command bridge raises up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see what I mean? He did the exact same fucking thing in Day After Tomorrow, where it's like, well, like the post disaster part isn't as bad as we thought. Oh, I thought that's actually kind of cool. That not just the poles have changed and whatnot, but even the elevation has changed and whatnot. And how Africa basically just only slightly changed its geography. It just raised
Right.
in its level. But I'm wondering what the rest of the landmass actually looks like, because I know the last shot is where they pull way out and you see just Africa in the midst of the ocean. But I'm like, what about all of Eurasia and South America?
Yeah, like I mean, like, okay, great, everything shifted. It's gonna have to resettle somewhere.
But can we like see all of it though? Because I'm a film watcher, so I like to see shit, to see the shit. Don't make me imagine it. This is Hollywood, man. That's your job. You're supposed to just show us shit.
Haven't you heard? Movies is magic.
And yet again, just like he did with Day After Tomorrow, shows the planet with its new geography map. I guess you can kind of see the Middle East and parts of Asia up there.
But very broken up.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sure will be a very interesting way to explore the new world as it is. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, someone's gonna create, another ship called the Magellan to explore all the new territories and whatnot, and also survey all the damage and find lost pieces of the civilization Like, someone pulls out an old. I'm just picturing, a bunch of archaeologists getting excited over the fact that they found a billboard of centuries past, and it's fucking Kim Kardashian or something.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Like, it's all from the old LA site, and they're like, "What an amazing find! This image is so well preserved and gives us an idea of what life was like back in the old world." Like, because you think,
We've
like,
unearthed the Hollywood sign.
we found the H. We found the H in the Hollywood sign. or actually, better yet, just like for you BoJack fans, they only found the D. And they can't find Hollywood. We're renaming it Hollywood.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Yeah, man. So that's 2012, man. And honestly, I still enjoy this movie a lot. Like, again, to be back to Roger Ebert, you get what you pay for, and it's as good as a movie in this genre can be. Like, I even remember him saying, like, no doubt it's going to inflame fears about our demise in 2012. I'm worried. He said, "I'm worried too, but I expect it'll be even worse than Y2K." you crass bastard. God rest your soul. Yeah, how? I mean, how's it still for you? Because I know you had like a kind of yeah, it was fun sort of thing, but I don't know if it's like changed since then.
I mean, I enjoy it. It's a decent movie, but I think it's prohibitively long for it to be something I'm going to revisit all that often.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and also, as I didn't have an attachment to it, and it wasn't obviously any level of importance to me, which probably has something to do with age and timing and everything else.
Oh yeah.
As we kind of said before, it's like I loved Independence Day.
Yes.
That movie came out, in formative years for me, and I absolutely loved it, and I will always, revisit that on occasion. And so I could definitely see how this movie could be some people's, Independence Day, and that's fine. But for me, it's just like, yeah, it's well done and it's decent, but there's, for everything I like about this movie, the performances and the effects and this, that, there's other movies that have each of those things better.
Okay.
There's John Cusack movies I like better.
Oh yeah, of course.
To
someone who says this is John Cusack's best performance doesn't know John Cusack.
Right, exactly. So it's like, there's as we were just saying, there's Roland Emmerich movies I like better. There's Woody Harrelson movies I like better. It's like, I mean, heck, even if somebody's going this far as to watch the movie for it, there's Amanda Peet movies I like better.
Yeah.
So everyone in this, it's like, nobody gives a bad performance. Everyone does a good job. But I can find shorter movies that I enjoy more that give me the things I enjoy from this movie.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the only reason why I hold this one with a weird close spot in my heart, not like super close or anything, just a real fondness for it, is because Roland Emmerich just has like so many wonderful guilty pleasures for me. Like, Day After Tomorrow, I really love. Independence Day, it's a guilty pleasure, guys. Like, it's not a good movie. I'm sorry. It really isn't when you get down to it. But, yeah, he's just a really wonderful filmmaker, and this is, I thought, was kind of his quintessential disaster movie, Like, where he was, because that's what he was trying to do. He was really being like, look, I'm known as the disaster epic guy in Hollywood. I really want to outdo myself on this one. I really want to go nuts with it because, he's...
Yeah, I mean, he's also the guy who, directed The Patriot.
I didn't mind the Patriot all that much from a historical
Um,
point. Yeah, I totally do.
Look,
But
there's a level of fun with it, but when you put, basically one of the worst atrocities of the Nazis in the middle of the American Revolution, that's a bit like, no,
yeah,
no, just no. It's like you can vilify the British, but not that bad.
mm-hmm. Because I also, because I'm trying to think of some of the others that
I
I
mean, let's
really
take
love.
it way back. Stargate. I mean,
Okay, yeah,
yes.
Stargate. Stargate was fucking cool. What was it? White House Down. I still haven't yet to see, just because I still want to watch that and Olympus Has Fallen back to back, because those came out at the exact. It was he had the same thing go on with. It was like Deep Impact and Armageddon all over again, where the exact same premise of two different movies came out at like in less than a month from each other.
Right. I mean, I will say something I at least have to
Yeah.
point to. I did not watch it because I have a lot of friends in the community, and it received a lot of backlash and was not well accepted. So you got to kind of slap him on the wrist a little bit for Stonewall.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was. He's got such a turbulent career, honestly, because he comes out with some really amazing, like I said, great guilty pleasure movies, and then he comes out with shit like like fucking 10,000 BC that are range from like the forgettable to the really fucking bad, or do we really want to mention Godzilla? Because yikes, yeah.
We don't talk about that one.
No, although I do remember because I reread Roger Ebert's review of 2012. Is that apparently he has a bit of a grudge against Emmerich for having Mayor Ebert of New York in Godzilla, and he didn't have him squish on him. Like, how dare you not have Godzilla squish Mayor Ebert in this movie? Which I thought was actually really funny. But yeah, man, I still really love this one a lot because again, the effects are breathtaking. It's actually one of the few. It's also really bold, knowing that Columbia just dumped $200 million in a movie that wasn't part of a franchise. It was just an original movie of its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminds me of like when Jan de Bont made Twister back in the day, where they just gave him like $150 million budget, and it was just an original idea. There was no sequel setup. It wasn't part of a franchise. It was based on no existing name. None of that safety net that studios go for day in and day out these days. And they just said, let's give you like just a shitload of money for an original blockbuster that isn't going to have any sequel bait or setting up any pocket universes. It's actually nice to have that kind of refreshment in there, because we need more movies like that.
Yeah, there's definitely a lack of that going on these days. That's for sure. For certain.
Although, I mean, like, just based on how much hemorrhaging there's been lately in the film industry lately, I guess I can see why they want to stay safe bets. But then again, they made billions and billions of dollars in the last couple of years alone, especially
that's just
like
it.
Disney.
I mean, you talk about the hemorrhaging, but the hemorrhaging's happening mainly because of the inflated marketing campaigns, which I don't understand why. Yeah. Like, I don't understand how that's happened, because it's just like, okay, I don't know people who watch commercials, and most of stuff I hear from word of mouth or see from trailers of other movies. So I don't know where all this marketing money is going. I don't know what you're doing on the global scale. But when you're now telling me you're going to spend almost as much as the film's budget on marketing, yeah, no wonder you don't want to take a risk on a $25 million movie.
No kidding.
Because you're going to drop $50 million on it. Well, guess what? A $25 million movie can probably make you $40 million, no problem. But it might not be able to make you $50 million, and you want to spend $50 million total because now you want to have an advertising budget equal to the production budget. No wonder this doesn't work.
For real though, dude, because like I looked at I was remember when Avengers Endgame came out, and I looked at the budget, and it was like almost 400 million, one of the most expensive movies ever made. But then you look at that, you're like, oh no, that was like just to get the movie made and whatnot. The budget is actually closer to like double that. I'm like, you're kidding? What the hell did I spend the rest of the marketing? And I'm like, dude, why do you need to spend that much amount of money for marketing when you already gave us an entire cinematic universe and Infinity War? Like, dude,
Yeah.
for real, all you need to do is drop us the trailer and we'll still come hard.
Exactly. So I definitely think there's, been a shift going on, and unfortunately, it's pushed a lot of the more independent voices
Yes.
and more interesting films to streaming services. But the issue is because streaming services are also marketing machines trying to tailor what they push to you, unless you make a point to go looking for this stuff, a lot of it you're going to miss. So one of the things I've taken to doing, if there's an actor or actress I really like, I'll make a point to, next time I'm thinking about them or rewatching something I love them in, I'll pop on their IMDb page, see what they've been doing.
Yeah,
because it's like, oh, like they might be
in one of
working
these
and in movies that are out there streaming that I've heard nothing about, because it's not necessarily the typical comfort watching stuff that I watch the most of, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to love it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's just the nature of it. Because I remember talking to my dad a couple of years ago over Thanksgiving, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, it's all sequels, reboots, and remakes." I'm like, and I actually had to look at him like, "No, Dad, actually, believe it or not, there's more original material out there than ever before in film history. You just don't know about it because literally only all those sequels, reboots, and remakes are the ones that get marketed to death and get the big budgets along with all the distribution rights as well."
Yep.
Yeah, it really fucking hurts, man. I'm serious about that mouse, man. Break up the mouse. Look, it was really cool. It was really cool, and it was really fun for when they all came together for Endgame. But it was the big movie event of the summer, of the fucking decade, really. Now let's just move on and never do it again.
Yeah,
for real, because I'm sick of it. And it's also reasons why like this is why I'm doing. Not that I'm like don't enjoy doing this, but it's the reason why I'm doing this instead of making movies or working on movies of my own or for others. Otherwise, I totally would be on a set, like either directing or like some small stuff like short films or some music videos or whatnot, or I'll just be on a set, getting coffee or slapping the clapperboard together, which I'm totally complacent to do anyway. But yeah, because of that and the pandemic and the fact that literally there are almost no unions left, and any that are left are highly elitist because they're all just like holding on for dear life for whatever's left. So trying to get into the film business, you're like, well, fuck. I mean, you can still do this shit, but you don't get paid.
Well, but like a lot of things, you make short films, you get them out there, and then somebody notices, and then you
pray.
Pray. But I mean, look, people have made Oscar-nominated films now on iPhones.
Yeah, that's very true.
This is a fact.
Yeah.
So, there's definitely ways to do this stuff. I mean, I know somebody who recently made a movie, and they were able to get a decent camera off of, like, use a cell phone camera that's actually decent for making movies with the right attachment. I mean, that equipment cost them all of $300.
Yep.
So it's not hard to do. But it's a matter of, can you get enough people to help and contribute to make it what you want, and do you have the gumption to do it again and again and again?
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. Because that's literally the name of the game, man. Because always go out and make movies. I mean, if Clerks were made today with Kevin Smith, that movie would have cost him like $500, easy. and it would have been shot in color too.
Yeah.
So there's really not a whole lot of excuses. We could have like a whole other episode about that, about how to,
Yeah, but we're approaching 3 hours. This is probably about wrap up time.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess if there's any final thoughts you want to share, because I think I've pretty much said all I need to.
No, I think we're good. I mean, it's a fun, enjoyable movie, and I
Yeah.
just think depending on when you see it and where you're at, you'll have a different level of attachments to it. But it's definitely worth. This has definitely been worth a watch, and
Fuck yeah, dude.
it has a certain level of fun to it that I can definitely appreciate.
Yeah, right on, man. Because I mean, it's just one of those. Again, it's a guilty pleasure movie. At the end of the day, that's really what it is, and it's a lot of fun. That's really all I got. Because next week is going to be we're going to be continuing our disaster month with probably the mega one and a great metaphor for 2012 in general, or 2020 in general. James Cameron's Titanic. We're doing the big one next week. It's gonna be fucking good, man. I'm really fucking excited about it because I'm kind of an amateur Titanic historian. But yeah, man, we didn't make the movie 2012, but we sure as hell watched it. This has been this has been an episode of Comtrack where you'll never have to watch a movie alone again. I've been Tim,
I've been Sean.
and we'll see you next week. Peace.